The sky is blood red, ash falls like snow. Forests that stood for centuries are reduced to blackened skeletons. This is the new normal. Wildfires are becoming bigger, hotter, and more destructive than ever before. And while the flames themselves are terrifying, what they represent is even scarier. Wildfires are a warning sign, a symptom of deeper issues tied to climate change and our unsustainable way of living. But here's the thing. Even if we argue about climate change, one fact is undeniable. We live on a planet with finite resources. And yet, our entire economic system is built on the idea of infinite growth. That contradiction? It's fueling environmental disasters like wildfires. In 2023, Canada experienced its worst wildfire season ever. Over 18 million hectares burned. That's an area larger than Greece. Meanwhile, in Australia, the 2019 to 2020 bushfires destroyed 24 million hectares of land, killed 33 people, and displaced nearly 3 billion animals. And this isn't just nature being out of control, it's a direct consequence of human activity. Climate change is creating the perfect conditions for wildfires. Global temperatures are rising, making places hotter and drier. Add in prolonged droughts and dead vegetation, and you've got a recipe for disaster. And then there's us, humans. We're clearing forests for agriculture, urban sprawl, and industries. Fewer trees mean less carbon absorption, which worsens global warming. It's a vicious cycle. And when fires start, they release massive amounts of carbon dioxide, making the climate even hotter. So why aren't we doing more about this? Well, part of the problem is that climate change is controversial for some people. Political divisions, misinformation campaigns, and economic interests have made it hard to get everyone on the same page. But here's the thing, even if you don't believe in climate change, wildfires and their massive economic and human toll are undeniable. Whether you're worried about your health, your community, or your wallet, ignoring this problem isn't an option. And here's where it gets even more complicated. Climate change is just one part of the puzzle. The bigger issue? We're living as though Earth's resources are infinite. Spoiler alert, they're not. The truth is, our planet can only handle so much. Forests, water, minerals, soil, all of these are finite, but every year, humanity uses 1.7 Earth's worth of resources. That's like spending twice your paycheck every month and wondering why you're broke. And yet, our economic system is built on growth. GDP, the main measure of a country's success, relies on industries expanding, people consuming more, and resources being extracted faster. But infinite growth on a finite planet, it just doesn't work. Take the Amazon rainforest, for example. It's often called the lungs of the earth because it absorbs so much carbon dioxide, but we're chopping it down at an alarming rate for cattle ranching, soybean farming, and logging. It's a short-term profit game with massive long-term consequences. Fewer trees, more carbon in the atmosphere, and higher wildfire risks. So what can we do? Are we stuck in this destructive cycle, or is there a way out? The good news is, there are solutions, but they're going to take big changes, both in how we run our economies and how we live our lives. First, we need to rethink our economy. Right now, it's all about infinite growth. But what if we focused on sustainability instead? Some economists suggest moving to a steady-state economy, where we consume resources at a rate the planet can replenish. Others talk about circular economies, where waste is minimized and materials are reused instead of constantly extracting new ones. We also need to invest in renewable energy. Fossil fuels are a major driver of climate change, and shifting to wind, solar, and other clean energy sources is one of the fastest ways to cut emissions. Then there's reforestation. Planting trees not only absorbs carbon dioxide, but also helps rebuild ecosystems. Some countries are already leading the way. For example, Ethiopia planted over 350 million trees in a single day. But reforestation isn't enough on its own. We also need to stop deforestation in the first place. And it's not just about what governments and corporations do. We can all play a part. Reduce your energy use, Advocate for policies that prioritize sustainability, support companies that are serious about protecting the environment. And remember, every action counts are a stark reminder of the fragile balance we depend on. They show us what happens when we ignore the planet's limits, but they also give us an opportunity to rethink, to rebuild, and to choose a better path forward. The Earth's resources are finite, but our potential to create change, that's limitless. Let's act before the flames consume more than just our forests.